Come with me as we visit the classroom of Dr. Andrew Martin, Professor of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology at the University of Colorado at Boulder. It's the third week of the fall term of 2010, and the lecture hall has about 60 students in it right now. Class is set to begin in just about 5 minutes, but those who are seated are playing with their phones, they're talking to the person next to them, they're playing on their laptops and their computers. All of them are waiting for today's lecture to begin. Professor Martin stands at the front of the hall. He's looking out from behind the podium across at all these newly minted biology majors. How's he going to get through to them today, he wonders. They're all so distracted and so disinterested. They really just don't seem to care. He can tell by the bored looks on their faces. Well, yesterday he was reviewing the material that they were going to cover today, and he came across a really great article he wanted to present to the class. But he remembered that there's just not enough time to cover that kind of stuff in class. I mean, it's his job to make sure that these students are getting the basics, because everyone knows they're not reading their textbooks. So it's pretty obvious if they're not doing that, they wouldn't be learning. So he thinks to himself, if I want to cover stuff like that, I guess I'm going to have to redesign the whole class or get a new textbook or start from scratch. But that's such a huge project. I mean, I don't even have time to get the work done that I need to get done for my regular job. Where am I even going to begin? No one's going to pay me for my time, he thinks. And either it probably won't work or they won't get it anyway. So they really aren't listed in learning. All they care about is getting a good grade. It's probably not worth changing anyway. But as the last few students trickle in through the door, he looks out across the classroom one more time and wonders to himself, I love this subject. Is it possible to reach these students? Is it even worth trying? So fast forward to 2011. Professor Martin's lecture hall is buzzing with activity. Students are out of their seats, clustered in small groups, talking about science. Over here, to the left, this group over here, they're talking about how the size of a bird's beak might affect its chances of survival. That group over there is reviewing the lecture material and aligning it with the article they read when they got to class. Most of these students, how do they know this material already? Did they come here with this knowledge? No. They watched lectures that Professor Martin put online, and they learn the material outside of class. Today, now, they can apply what they've learned with a visible sense of confidence. Martin travels from group to group, checking in with each student. He listens to the discussion, makes contributions when necessary, and offers clarification when it can be helpful. He realizes then that these students, his students, they have taken control of their education. Now just imagine your own classroom filled with informed discussion and debate, filled with students brimming with energy and actively participating in their own education. Imagine your own satisfaction knowing that you provided a rich and invigorating educational environment for your students. Does it sound too good to be true? It's more simple than you think. So how has Professor Martin and hundreds like him transformed his classroom? Did he completely rewrite his course? Did he spend hundreds of dollars and all of his free time learning new, complicated software? No. What he did was he flipped his classroom. And you can too. Now, for those of you not familiar with the term, a flipped classroom is one where lectures and even quizzes are put online for students to do at home. Class time is then spent on solving problems and discussing the materials. You record your lectures in quick 5 to 10 minute videos that you post online. And then to use your flipped classroom, students review the course materials and come to class ready to have the material tested by more than just a multiple choice quiz. They will still be guided by you. You're their instructor. You're their professor. And they'll just be working on more higher order learning skills and keeping the tedious memorization part at home. The flipped classroom is student-centered learning. So how can you get started flipping your classroom? Well, you start by being creative and remember, go back to where you once began. Do you remember that moment when you decided to start teaching? You can share that excitement again as you create a new, more tech-friendly version. Just start by recording a quick 5-minute summary of this week's most important material. Use a screen capture program, your built-in microphone on your computer. Not sure how to do it? Talk to your IT department. They can help you out. Believe me, they'll just be happy to have an engaged participant. Does that sound familiar? Well, next, you can just start by recording your live lectures. That's another easy way to do it. Have it set up in the classroom, and then have your IT department break it into 5 to 10-minute blocks, and then post those online. There's no need to start from scratch. Any progress forward is progress in a flipped classroom. Those of us in higher ed are constantly striving to provide our students with high-quality, student-centered education. We work hard to bring a quality experience to each of our students, but for most of us, it's just not reaching them. Educators like Andrew Martin use technology to enhance the teaching and learning experience, and so can you. Start today by rededicating your energy to your creative self. The effort and energy you put in will be matched by that of your students. This is innovation at its simplest. Flip your classroom. Enjoy the rewards.